Hello, Amazing Youth Group. My name's Jody, and I am Katie and Anna's mom. And I want to share with you one of my favorite verses. And God gave this verse to both Wade and I when we were trying to decide to adopt children. And we had planned to adopt from Russia, but we didn't know how we were going to do it financially because it was a pretty expensive process. So the verse that he shared with us was 1 Thessalonians 5:24, and it says, "He who has called you is faithful, and he will do it." So when you're making those life decisions and you feel in your heart of hearts that God is asking you to do something, go with confidence that he is going to provide a way and that he is going to show you and be there for you and help you do what he's asked you to do.
If I had just a few scriptures to share with my younger self, with my kids, or even my current self, they would be the following. Deuteronomy 6:5 and Matthew 22:37, which say essentially the same thing. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Jesus tells us in John 14:15 how we love God. We love him by obeying what he commands. Micah 6:8 says, "He has shown you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? But to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." And the last thing would be to live in light of eternity. In Psalm 90, in Moses' prayer, he says, "Teach us to number our days, that we might gain a heart of wisdom."
Hi, I'm Janice Tiffany. I'm Matthew, Michael, Randall, and Gabriel's mom. And so the little bit of scripture that I wanted to share was from the book of Numbers. I'm reading through the Old Testament. And I guess the most important scripture to me is depending on what's going on in our lives and where I'm reading in the Bible. And I got to the point where Moses had led the people and they're ready to go in the promised land. The spies came back. 10 had a horrible report and 2 had great news for the people. Joshua and Caleb stood up and said, "The land which we passed through to spy out is an exceedingly good land. If the Lord is pleased with us, he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which flows with milk and honey. Only do not rebel against the Lord. Do not fear the people of the land, for they will be our prey. Their protection has been removed from them, and the Lord is with us. Do not fear them." And I guess God just wants us to trust him wholeheartedly and not doubt him or his word. And that's the most important thing I can think of to tell you from scripture.
What is most important is relationships. Most specifically, your relationship to Jesus. See, by knowing Jesus, we know how to love others. It's because of his love for us that we sacrificially love our neighbor, our brother, and even our enemy. Life is all about loving people well. So who is God calling you to love today? And if you're having a hard time loving someone, it might be because you haven't learned to understand Jesus' love for you. Get to know his love for you, and it will transform the way that you love others.
Good evening, young men and women. For the scripture that I found most important in the Bible, I wanted to share John 10:1-4. "Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that enters not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbs up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. But he that enters in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter opens, and the sheep hears his voice, and he calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. And when he puts forth his own sheep, he goes before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice." I just thought this was a great reminder of who Jesus was. He called your own name.